Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome to my weekly Watch Roundup, where I take a quick look at the films and the TV that I've been watching over the past week. So let's get straight into this one. Okay, yeah, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. I do reply to all comments. Let's just get straight into it. So, yeah, what film and TV stuff have I been watching over the past week? So, let's start with TV, because that's actually the smallest, with not too many. So, first up is Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. And as I sit here saying this, can I... Oh, yes, I can remember the episode. Yes. Aliens, Predator. The Enterprise is on this mission, and there's a crash ship that has crashed in its entirety, and they have to go and find out what's happened, get the ship back, so look for survivors, this sort of thing. So when they get there, they find that everyone's been killed, apart from a couple of survivors. But one of these survivors has got a little secret, in that they've got Gorn eggs inside them, and these eggs thusly burst out like alien style, but there's several of them that come out. You know, several of them have gestated inside the body. They grow quick and they run around and this abandoned ship and start to kill people, essentially. Very, very action packed, very dark, claustrophobic setting. You know, it very much does play into that Alien and Predator kind of a feel. You see that they've ripped off, which is they've ripped off. I don't want to use that as a negative slur for the episode, but they've ripped off Alien and Predator, essentially. More so Alien 3 and Predator, yeah. But very good, very entertaining, did like it. Next up was the Orville. Now, the Orville, wow, this was a very divisive episode, because it was about sex change, essentially. It was the young girl, or the young boy, I should say. You got the alien race on board. The alien, you know, that commander who had the tash and is I forget his name now. I forget the alien race as well. But anyway, so they had an egg, baby egg, a couple of seasons ago, and when it hatched, it was female, and in their culture, they don't like females, and it goes for a change where they turn it into a male. But now, as the child has grown, the child comes to realise that it's not happy, it doesn't feel at place in the world, and that not a fit for its body, shall we say. For, you know, the sex that's assigned it isn't the sex that it feels it should be, and thusly it steps into that sort of a territory. Now, I've got to say that it was one of the most wonderfully written, acted and emotional pieces of TV that I have seen in a long time. It was very, very good, and I'm surprised I'm saying that, considering the subject matter. Very good, but 1 hour and 15 minutes long, maybe a tad too long, but there we go. And then finally, The Boys. Yes, The Boys. This programme just goes from strength to strength. It's wonderful, it's fantastic, I love it. If you're not watching this, you should be watching The Boys. Do you want to watch a freeway with a man, a woman and a squid? Watch The Boys. Yeah, no, that sounds weird, I know, but it's such a... It holds a mirror up to the comic book genre. You know, Garth Ennis, the comic book writer, he answers those questions, basically. You know, there's always this joke, and it was joked about at the end of Peacemaker, that Aquaman sleeps with the fishes, shall we say. Well, in this one, Aquaman, the guy who is the version of Aquaman, essentially does sleep with the fishes. Yeah, and yeah, he gets off on it. So, but wonderful. It's a really good show, really is. But anyway, that's it. That's it for TV. Let's jump into those films. Okay, and in no particular order of how I've watched them. Terror on the Prairie. which is a western starring Gina Carano, you know, former MMA fighter, former Mandalorian star Cara Dune. It's a western, quite a small western in that it's a tight budget, tight location, and she's a woman living in the frontier with her husband, 2 kids, baby and a young boy, and they get set upon by a gang. The husband's out and about at town, he's not there, and she has to protect her family while in her house, being surrounded by this gang of about half a dozen people. And yes, there's more to it than that. There's a lot more to it. I did do a full review on it, but a film that I'm unsure on. I like the concept. I didn't like some of the execution in the editing, the directing, and some of it just too many questions, too many characters not doing what you'd think they would do. You know, that sort of a thing where you're saying, well, do this, do that, can't you hear that? Do you know what I mean? That sort of annoyance. Then I watched a film called Blasted, which is a Norwegian film. It's a comedy film. It's on Netflix. It very much feels like a sort of cheap Cornetto trilogy type of a film, maybe Paul, that sort of a thing, that film. However, as fun as it seemed, it's the first time I've ever watched a comedy that's subtitled. And, you know, comedies are spoken very fast-witted and do you know what I mean? And you lose that. You lose it in translation because you're reading it. Comedies, for me, this has stamped it. First one I've ever watched. I won't watch a comedy again because it doesn't work reading subtitles. You don't get those character nuances, those little character quirks, you know, in how they say stuff and that sort of a thing. It's all lost, which is a shame. But sticking with the old Norwegian films, the Quake. Yeah, I watched the Quake, which is the sequel to the Wave, which is the same family from that film, and now they're caught up in an earthquake in Oslo, a big city in Norway. Fantastic. You know, again, this was made on a budget of like $15 million. You wouldn't think it. It looked wonderful, and the action was tense. The character moments were tense. You know, even the characters are well rounded. The effects from the first film are played into, you know, on the characters. Just very, very good. Very good. Really enjoyed it. But obviously, this one is being subtitled. You ain't got that quick-wittedness in the script, so you don't lose nothing with subtitles. But there we go. Then I watched a film called Men, and I did review this. I called it Men, or the Anal Birthing of Rory Kinnear. Yes, Rory Kinnear stars in this film. He plays every man in the film, and boy, is this a man-hating film. It really is. Basically, it's about this woman. Her husband has died, or her ex-husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband. She's asked for a divorce, and then he goes and either has an accident or kills himself. It's never determined which. He does threaten to kill himself, and then he gets into a neighbour's upstairs and subsequently falls. But did he jump, or did he slip trying to climb back into theirs? We don't know. It's unimportant. So this girl, suffering with this, she goes off to the countryside, rents out a house in this town, and every single man in this town is played by Rory Kinnear. Yeah, even a child, which looked freaky. And there's weird stuff starts happening, and she gets chased by this naked person who likes to start cutting and putting leaves into himself, that then makes him grow into a bush, and it's meant to be some sort of a deity of some kind, some pagan deity, I don't know. But basically every man in the film is nasty anyway. She's the only woman apart from a friend on the end of the phone. But every man is nasty. Every man is played by Rory Kinnear, or Rory Kinnear I should say. So basically the message is that every man is nasty, all men are the same. Get to at the end, this character, the tree character, starts birthing another version of itself, and then that version, when I say another version of itself within the town, one of the other people, and then that one births another one. I'm talking like anal birthing, and then out of the belly button, out of the mouth, weird stuff. But ultimately, its messaging is men bad, men all the same. Generationally, men don't change because the birthing is meant to signify like generations of people. Avoid at all costs. And then the last film I watched was The American President, which was a Blu-ray that I picked up last week. The American President, starring Michael Douglas and Annette Bening, Michael J. Fox, people like that, and a really good film. You know, it's a good film. They've got great chemistry, Michael Douglas and Annette Bening, and yeah, just a thoroughly enjoyable movie. What I was going to say about it, it's good. It's good. Anyway, that's it. Those were the things that I've watched this week. So why not let me know down below what you've watched, whether you've seen any of this, what you think of it, your thoughts on it, like it, hate it, whatever it may be, indifferent, and I'll reply. It's AJ. See you on the next one. Take care all, and goodbye.